September 17th Blue Springs City Council meeting. If you will stand with me, Councilmember Kaler will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You can be seated. Thank you, Councilmember Kaler. Next item on the agenda, I will now call the meeting to order. Next item on the agenda is confirmation of a quorum.
Councilmember Kaler,
Present.
Bolin,
Present.
Brummel,
Present.
Erickson,
Present.
Edmondson,
Here.
Rowan,
Here.
Mayor Levisay.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Next is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Kaler,
Aye.
Bolin,
Aye.
Brummel,
Aye.
Erickson,
Aye.
Edmondson,
Aye.
Rowan,
Aye.
Mayor Levisay.
Aye.
Carried unanimously.
Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for the Westgate Villas. City clerk will read the exhibits.
Mayor, the city has 2 exhibits to enter into the record. Exhibit 1, City Council Information Form dated September 9, 2025 with the following attachments: staff report with attachments, application with attachments, affidavit of publication in the Examiner on August 23, 2025, 185-foot notification map, names, addresses of the property owners within 185 feet of the site, copy of letter sent to said property owners, Title IV Land Use Section, Blue Springs Code of Ordinances by reference, 2014 Comprehensive Plan by reference, and bill approving the rezoning and planned development concept plan. Exhibit 2, Traffic Memorandum. This is all we have to enter for the record.
Staff, if you'll be sworn in, give us your report.
I do. So Chantel Fry, 903 West Main Street, on behalf of the city. Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Before you this evening is a request for approval to rezone a property. Rezone the property located at the northeast corner of Northwest 19th Street and Northwest Mock Avenue, which is currently zoned Regional Commercial Service Offices. And the request is to go to a PDR, a Plan Development Residential. The applicant is also requesting approval of Plan Development Concept Plan and the preliminary plat to allow for the development of an independent senior community 55 and over, consisting of 11 fourplex buildings, 1 duplex for a total of 46 units. And then it will also consist of a community clubhouse, a gazebo area with a gathering space and open space that is all located on approximately 6.2 acres. According to the 2014 comprehensive plan, this area is designated as a corridor reinvestment area. And these areas are currently developed along significant transportation corridors where specific site and building design must balance with the transportation functions. General land uses are mixed use employment, mixed use, service, entertainment dominant, and high density residential and open space. The rezoning request is compatible with these designations and promotes the reinvestment and supports the economic opportunities, and it encourages higher density residential development in the proximity of the areas located to the commercial districts. Approval of this rezoning application would establish a precedence for high quality residential development and is consistent with the intent of the PDR zoning. And denial of the rezoning application would maintain the current zoning and could delay future development and reinvestment in the site in this area. Staff finds the proposal in compliance with all of the review criteria in rezoning and is consistent with the adopted city policies. And based on the review criteria and support finding, staff recommends approval of this rezoning request.
Is there any discussion for staff from the council?
Oh, I still have more.
You got more, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Okay. So the proposed land use is a multifamily housing that will be for 55 and over independent senior living community that again will consist of the 11 fourplex units per building and a duplex unit for the total of 46 units, along with the community clubhouse, amenity areas, and internal sidewalks. The residential buildings will incorporate a combination of bricks, stone, and vinyl siding in its design. And most units will include an attached single-car garage with a decorative garage door to enhance the overall architectural character of the site. The units on the south side of this development, as you can see here, they will all have off-street parking and no single-car garages. The site will have 2 access points that will provide to the development on Northwest South Outer Road and Northwest Mock Avenue. The internal streets to this development are proposed to be private, with the developer responsible for the maintenance of all the internal streets and sidewalks. A traffic memo prepared by a professional engineer states that the anticipated traffic generated by this development does not warrant a traffic impact study. A preliminary stormwater management plan has been submitted that includes multiple detention basins and BMPs to control the runoff and water quality. A final stormwater management plan will be submitted at the final plan. The applicant has submitted a conceptual landscape plan, and all final landscaping, including the required plant units, will be reviewed with the PD final plan. The required 15% open space equates to 0.42 acres, which is being met by this development. Development is proposed as a single-phase project with a construction anticipated to begin fall of this year and reach completion by fall of 2026. There's still more. Here are some of the renderings. So at the top here, you have the renderings with the single-car garage, and then to the south of that, you have the renderings of the units without the car garage attached. So staff recommends approval of the rezoning application, and staff recommends approval of the plan development concept plan with the 4 conditions listed in the staff report. To you, Mayor, it's all yours.
Now, does any council members have questions for staff? Councilmember Erickson.
Maybe it should be to the developer, but there's a sidewalk, correct?
Inside the development, yes.
Yes, and then in one picture it shows, how far is it from the garage to the sidewalk? Is there room for another car? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, it's enough to put 1.5 cars. So you have 1 car garage, and then you can place the 1 car in the driveway.
Without overlapping the sidewalk?
Let's see. Do you want this one or the? Do you want me to move it over? So.
Councilmember, are you referring to the ones on the north or the south side of the street?
Any of them. My fear is there's not enough space for another vehicle from the garage to the sidewalk without overlapping the sidewalk. If there's plenty of room, then I'm content with that, but I just want to be reassured that that's the case.
Yeah, there's plenty of room.
There's plenty of room.
Yeah,
okay.
and if, you know, they need to be scooted back to make sure we have a 25-foot or whatever the setback is, then we'll make sure that we have that.
Okay, thanks.
Councilmember Edmondson.
And again, the staff, in the illustration that we're looking at, there is currently a detention pond there, or I assume it's a detention pond. Does this overlap that, or is this further south than that detention pond?
It is in that there is a detention pond in this area that will be, the site will be regraded, and a new detention pond at the north end of the property will take the place of that detention pond. There's another kind of existing one over to the west as well, kind of in, or the east side. So there's one kind of in the middle and one west, one on the south or east, and these will be regraded to funnel into a larger detention pond on the north side.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Okay. That will go to the public. Anyone in the audience like to speak in support of?
I believe the
The
developer.
Oh, developer wants to do a, come on up and give a presentation. I'm not following my script tonight, guys, so.
Good evening. My name is Brian Ron for the developer, 1120 Eagle Ridge Boulevard, Grain Valley. Thank you for your consideration. Oh, I'm sorry. I do. Again, good evening. Thank you for your consideration of the project. So I don't know, this particular site has been a little bit difficult. It's been for sale for a very, very long time. We developed, George Ward developed the site, around there quite a while back, and these are the remaining lots. So, when I was asked, what would be appropriate there, we looked at a lot of different uses. Obviously, being zone commercial, we looked at commercial uses. We have not had an interest in many years in anybody, doing additional commercial development right there. So the next thing we looked at in looking at the city's plan is, of course, as an employment district. So if it's not a commercial use, it's not going to be an employment use. We looked at the next best thing is creating employment, for the businesses that are already in the area. There's a lot of healthcare and other businesses right there, and of course, a lot of great retail and stuff. As you head the other direction, either way. So we felt that putting a residential project there, would help support the other businesses that are in the area. So that led us into the 55 plus component. Then working with staff and our engineers on the site, it isn't an easy site. There's a fair amount of grade, east-west and north-south on it. As was just mentioned, as things have kind of developed in pieces out there, these little detention ponds have been built and a lot of different things. This is going to give us an opportunity to just kind of clean up the whole thing, finish the development there that, some of this goes back to the 80s. And, we think it's very compatible there. On the other side of I-70, there's also additional, 55 plus development, directly across I-70. So, as we were working through this, we then went back, added the clubhouse so that there would be, communal space. Then, also we're able to have on-site staff. So, we're gonna be the ones managing this project. So, when people have needs and stuff like that, or, maintenance and that kind of thing, we will have on-site staff. We're also doing a full foundation under the clubhouse, so we have that available as well. So we've, I think, kind of come up with a use that makes sense. It is a change from, the traditional commercial that's right there, but we really felt it made sense. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the developer? Councilmember Kaler.
At the planning commission, I sat in on that as Mayor Pro Tem, and something was said, and I might have misunderstood, but it's private streets?
Yeah, correct. So the streets are private. We're of course coming out onto the public streets, but internally we're going to be doing all of the maintenance and that type of thing.
Is there a specific reason why we're going private?
There's a couple different things. Again, it was a challenging site both for the topography and some other reasons. So just like when we were talking about the driveways and that kind of stuff, how we're able to position stuff on the site, we have some flexibility with private versus public. Now, as far as how the streets are designed and built, and staff can speak more to that, we still have to meet your guidelines. So I can't go in there, and do 2 inches of asphalt over, a couple inches of gravel and call it a street. No, we still need to build the streets and stuff like that to your standard.
And this might be for staff, but correct me if I'm wrong, though, even if it is a private street, does the width still have to be the same, or can they narrow the width of the street?
Whenever we construct private streets or approve them as part of the plan, they do need to meet our specs as close as possible. In terms of the pavement width is one of those as well. And the street section or the street profile in terms of material, base, width, all that is the same as well. The private street really gets into some grading, some angles, things of that nature, but for all intents and purposes, they are constructed to what could be a city street standard.
Okay, and I was just making sure on that because of some other issues that we have within the city of some private streets that that were built back in the 80s. Thank you, Your Honor.
Councilmember Brummel.
Is it correct to say that the only thing that's gonna have a basement is the clubhouse?
Correct.
Okay, so that's gonna be their storm shelter?
Yeah, so the clubhouse, you know, it's difficult to designate it as a storm shelter because that brings into some other things into that definition. But that basement is going to be available to the residents whenever there would be a storm event. We're also looking at, you know, doing ramps down to it and stuff like that rather than stairs, you know, to address, you know, luckily the way that falls off, we should be able to tie into the sidewalks running through there. So yes, it's available for that purpose. You know, like I said, I can't truly say that it meets, you know, it's not concrete hardened bunker, you know, but yes.
Any other question for the developer? Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments before I actually go to the audience? No? Now we'll go to the audience. Anyone on the audience like to speak in support of? Anyone like to speak in opposition to? Any other comments before we close the public hearing? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Next item is introduction and reading of Westgate Villas rezoning and PDC.
I'll introduce it.
First reading of Bill 5349, an ordinance rezoning property from RCSO Regional Commercial Service Office to PDR Planned Development Residential and approving a planned development concept plan for Westgate Villas.
Your Honor, I move to approve on the first reading and move to the second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Motion carries. Second reading.
Second reading of Bill 5349, an ordinance rezoning property from RCSO Regional Commercial Service Office to PDR Planned Development Residential and approving a planned development concept plan for Westgate Villas.
Your Honor, I move to approve the second reading and provide the proper ordinance number.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Tholen,
Aye.
Brummel,
Aye.
Erickson,
No.
Edmondson,
Aye.
Rowan,
Aye.
Kaler,
Aye.
Mayor Lovesay.
Aye.
Carried and given ordinance number 5450.
Next item is a public hearing for the 2025 tax levy, and the city clerk will read the items and the exhibits.
Mayor, the city has one exhibit to enter into the record. City Council Information Form dated September 9, 2025 with the following attachments. Notice of 2025 aggregate assessed valuation affidavit of public hearing as published in the Examiner on September 10, 2025, and bill establishing the property tax levy for 2025. This is all we have to enter for the record.
Staff, you'll be sworn in. Give us your presentation.
I do.
When you're ready.
Karen Van Winkle, Finance Director. The Mayor and Council, the tax levy being presented to you this evening. Hold on just a second. No.
Bottom right.
The 2025 tax levy was posted in the Examiner on September 10th. On September 2nd, 2025, the city received from Jackson County the updated total assessed valuations for 25 tax year. The 2024 levy was, or the 2024 assessed valuation was 1.4 billion. The increase this year was 1 to 1.5 billion for a difference of 86 million. That is mainly due to commercial property that was increased in value by almost 26%. New construction was also included in the calculation at 25 million. The majority of that, of course, was related to the southern portion of Blue Springs where we had the most development. This bill that's being presented is going to decrease the tax levy from prior year by 0.7073. This year, the general fund tax levy would be 0.4243, and the debt service levy remains at the 0.15 for the total of 0.5743. The tax levy is expected to generate approximately $8 million for fiscal year 25-26. And that is all I have for you this evening.
Okay, any questions on the tax levy? Okay, there is no developer to give a presentation on this, so I will go to the audience. Anyone in the audience like to speak in support of? In opposition to? Any comments from the council before I close the public hearing? Okay, we will close the public hearing. Next item is introduction and reading of the 2025 tax levy.
I'll introduce it, Your Honor.
First reading of Bill 5350, an ordinance establishing the property tax levy for 2025.
Your Honor, I move to approve on the first reading and move to the second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Motion carries. Second reading.
Second reading of Bill 5350, an ordinance establishing the property tax levy for 2025.
Your Honor, I move to approve the second reading and provide the proper ordinance number.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Brummel,
Aye.
Erickson,
Aye.
Edmondson,
Aye.
Rowan,
Aye.
Kaler,
Aye.
Tholen,
Aye.
Mayor Levesey.
Aye.
Carried unanimously and given ordinance number 5451.
Don't have any speaker appearance forms. We'll move on to item 9, which is introduction and reading of the Haas Estates. You have an introduction?
I'll introduce it.
Okay.
First reading of Bill 5351, an ordinance approving the final plat for Haas Estates, Blue Springs, Jackson County, Missouri.
Your Honor, I move to approve on the first and move to the second reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Motion carries. Second reading.
Second reading of Bill 5351, an ordinance approving the final plat for Haas Estates, Blue Springs, Jackson County, Missouri.
Your Honor, I move to approve the second reading and provide the proper ordinance number.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Erickson,
Aye.
Edmondson,
Aye.
Rowan,
Aye.
Kaler,
Aye.
Tholen,
Aye.
Brummel,
Aye.
Mayor Levesey.
Aye.
Carried and given ordinance number 5452.
Next is item 10, introduction to Bill 5352, which is a contract with Central Jackson County for Opticom maintenance and repair.
I'll introduce it.
First reading of Bill 5352, an ordinance approving a contract between the City of Blue Springs and the Central Jackson County Fire Protection District for Opticom maintenance and repair.
Your Honor, move to approve on the first reading and move to the second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Motion carries. Second reading.
Second reading of Bill 5352, an ordinance approving a contract between the City of Blue Springs and the Central Jackson County Fire Protection District for Opticom maintenance and repair.
Your Honor, I move to approve the second reading and provide the proper ordinance number.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Edmondson,
Aye.
Rowan,
Aye.
Kaler,
Aye.
Tholen,
Aye.
Brummel,
Aye.
Erickson,
Aye.
Mayor Levesey.
Aye.
Carried unanimously and given ordinance number 5453.
Next is item 11, which is introduction and reading of Bill 5347, which is first reading of the budget. We did the public hearing last council meeting and continued the first reading to this meeting, so I still need an introduction for first reading of the budget.
I introduce it.
First reading of Bill 5347, an ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating the annual operating and capital budgets of the City of Blue Springs, Missouri for the fiscal year October 1, 2025 through September 30, 2026.
Your Honor, I move to approve on the first reading and move to the second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on first reading?
I'd like to make an amendment to the budget.
Go ahead.
I move to amend the fiscal budget for 2025-26 budget to add $195,000, divided appropriately between the general fund and the public safety sales tax fund to provide a 4.5% range adjustment starting on October 1st for the Fraternal Order of Police Officers Bargaining Unit.
A motion from Councilmember Brummel. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on Councilmember Brummel's motion? Okay. Does this need to be a roll call or can I voice vote this? Okay. Told we need to do a roll call on just Councilmember Brummel's motion only.
Councilmember Rowan,
Aye.
Kaler,
Aye.
Tholen,
Aye.
Brummel,
Aye.
Erickson,
No.
Edmondson,
Aye.
Mayor Lovesay.
Aye. Okay, now we're on first reading as amended with Councilmember Brummel's amendment. Any further discussion on first reading? Okay, then we'll go, is this roll call also? No, this is voice vote, isn't it?
Yes.
First reading, voice vote, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no?
No.
Motion carries. Second reading,
An ordinance approving adopting second reading of Bill 5347. An ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating the annual operating and capital budgets of the city of Blue Springs, Missouri for the fiscal year October 1, 2025 through September 30th, 2026 as amended.
Your Honor, I move to approve the second reading as amended and provide a proper ordinance number.
is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, let's roll call.
Councilmember Kaler,
Aye.
Tholen,
Aye.
Brummel,
Aye.
Erickson,
No.
Edmondson,
Aye.
Rowan,
Aye.
Mayor Lovesay.
Aye.
Carried as amended and given ordinance number 5454.
Next is item 12, introduction to reading bill 5353, which is approving a budget amendment for fiscal year 24-25.
I'll introduce it.
First reading of Bill 5353, an ordinance amending the 2024-25 annual budget of the city of Blue Springs, Missouri.
Oh, Your Honor, I move to approve on the first and move to the second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Councilmember Kaler.
Your Honor, that did include the amendment that was on the first reading, correct?
So this is a budget amendment for last fiscal year's budget.
Okay.
Yeah, we've already approved the
okay.
budget for next year.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just.
Any
You want
other
an introduction?
There's a lot of budgets going on tonight, so you're okay. Any other discussion on first reading of the budget amendment? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Motion carries. Second reading.
Second reading of Bill 5353, an ordinance amending the 2024-25 annual budget of the city of Blue Springs, Missouri.
Your Honor, move to approve the second reading and provide your proper ordinance number.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Tholen,
Aye.
Brummel,
Aye.
Erickson,
Aye.
Edmondson,
Aye.
Rowan,
Aye.
Kaler,
Aye.
Mayor Lovesay.
Aye.
Carried unanimously and given ordinance number 5455.
That's all we have on the agenda tonight. I don't have any speaker appearance form for visitors. So are there any council members that want to make any comments this evening?
Look for us in the parade Saturday.
That's right. Fall Fun Fest Parade is this weekend. It's a pretty big deal for the community. Everybody will be in the parade, right? So you get to see all the pretty faces up here, just like you do on the dais. So, anything else? Most of us come back from a conference, the Missouri Municipal League Conference this week. Learned a lot of good things I think we'll bring back to the community. So everybody's got their list of items addressed with staff. So this is always staff's favorite time of year when we come back from a conference. Anything else that, any events that coming up? I don't have anything from the city calendar that I'm missing. All right, with that then I will accept the motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second? All roll call. Nope, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, we are adjourned.
Happy Wednesday.
Yes, it's not Monday.